I'm 6 foot 6 tall, and since I revealed that on the internet, I've had two primal dieters ask me for advice about growing tall. One is I'm pretty heavy and fat, and I want to lose weight, but at the same time I want to gain height. So I don't know if I should prioritize losing weight or drinking a lot of raw milk, which will make me grow taller, but at the same time gain more weight. And the other guy was a guy who was playing rugby, and he asked me if he should stop exercising so he would stop stressing his body and he would grow taller. So, first let's look at the guy who was not sure if to lose weight or to grow taller. Well, I will tell you, look at the consequences of either choice. If you choose to prioritize getting clean and get a six pack or something, then yeah, you get a six pack now, but then you are going to be shorter for the rest of your life. And you can lose the six pack easily afterwards. I mean, you weren't talking about six pack, but still, if you lose weight now, then you are going to and not prioritize getting taller, then you're going to be shorter because of it for the rest of your life, and you are going to be able to basically gain the weight back again. So what you do now will permanently negatively affect your height and non-permanently positively affect your weight. Whether if you prioritize growing tall and having ton of nutrition, just chugging raw milk, just spamming nutrition, then you might get fatter, you might get some more weight, but afterwards you are going to be taller for rest of your life, and that height which you gained from this will never go away. You will permanently be taller. That's a permanent upside. And the the weight you gained, you can lose it later. So if you lose weight now, and if you lose weight now, then you will permanently negatively affect your height, and the weight you lost will only be short term because you can always gain it back later. At the same time, if now you prioritize nutrition and growing taller from nutrition, then you will permanently be taller and you will never lose that height again. And the weight you gained in the process of getting the nutrition to grow taller, you can always lose it again. So I would say prioritize gaining weight and gaining nutrition rather than losing weight now. Though I wouldn't be that one-sided. That would be, in theory, I could say this, but I could look also at the angle that if you are too overweight, if you, I could just say get fat, get bunch of nutrition to grow taller. However, I would have a concern that if you are too fat and too overweight, then maybe the extra unnecessary weight can enact stress like gravity on you. Like if you have too much weight, then you will have too much gravity pushing you down. Well, it's actually not gravity, but density and buoyancy, but whatever. You will have more weight pushing you down, which can make you grow less into your height. I don't know if it's the case, but it might be the case. Like someone lean who has less resistance of weight against whatever, someone is leaner and doesn't have as much weight, then I could see a potential for them to grow taller somehow, vaguely. And also, maybe you don't want to be a fat fuck in your most productive years of your life. Like, yeah, in theory, getting fat and getting a bunch of weight is better because it will give you permanent results, so it's worth the investment. But if you're 18 to 21, then you are supposed to be kicking some ass, to being with girls, to doing interesting stuff with your life, and being overweight can make your life less beautiful in this case. I absolutely understand wanting to lose weight while not sacrificing the height. So I will tell you how to actually gain height without gaining too much fat. Like how can you lose fat and at the same time gain enough nutrition to grow taller? And I have several points. One of them is goat milk. I don't know why exactly, but goat milk makes you lose weight rather than gain weight, which is, it's basically a life hack. I just talked about this, that because goat milk has too much hormonal precursors of adrenaline or whatever, it works differently than cow's milk. And he talked about it like, have you ever seen a relaxed goat? No, they are always like running around, headbutting something. And if you have goat milk, then goat milk, from experience of many people in my circle, works like Adderall, like that ADHD medication. Like you feel low key like on drugs when you drink goat's milk. It's like caffeine. It will boost you up and give you like energy. It will make you sharp. It will make you on point. Goat milk is like coffee. That instead of relaxing you like cow's milk, it will make you sharper. And instead of making you gain weight and body fat, it will make you lose fat. I don't know why, but goat milk makes you lose fat. Literally, it makes you lose weight. So that's why Ageless actually talked about not recommending goat's milk to other people than maybe overweight people with diabetes. However, I don't believe it was the case, but I don't remember, I want to say, but maybe it was. For children, he recommended that people give raw milk of healthy animals to their children rather than having the injected mothers who grew up in modern society have breast milk to the child. And he recommended to give the child cow's milk or goat's milk. He also made like a baby formula from raw milk, raw liver butter, and stuff like that. And again, you could use goat milk in that formula. So at the same time, he doesn't recommend goat's milk because it makes you lose much weight, and he wants people to be fat because it's healthier or whatever. But at the same time, he would recommend goat milk, even though it makes you lose weight. He would recommend it to children in order to develop their skeletons and to grow like adults. So, if you have goat's milk, you will still have the nutrition which you need to grow taller and develop your bones. You will have all of the minerals and whatever. And at the same time, you will be losing fat and body fat. So, if you are 18 to 21 years old and you want to grow tall as fuck, but at the same time you want to be lean because you are a martial artist or something like, for whatever reason, or you are fat as fuck, but you want to maximize your growth, then just instead of drinking gallon of milk a day, drink gallon of goat's milk a day. And I believe I mentioned raw. I'm talking about raw milk. I don't know how pasteurized goat's milk works. I don't know how pasteurized cow's milk works. I don't recommend none of that shit. But you can use goat milk instead of cow's milk. Now, I believe goat's milk is even better than the other thing, which I will tell you about, because yeah, it will make you lose more weight than the next thing. And the next thing is kefir. You can ferment. Actually, recommend this to everyone, even if you want to gain weight. Still, kefir is when you ferment raw milk. You get raw milk, you let it in a room temperature. You never use kefir grains because kefir grains will pre-digest the milk for the bacteria and the kefir grains. And then you drink it, it may be beneficial because it's pre-digested, but the bacteria then will compete with your own bacteria. Or so I heard from Andrews. It makes sense. So you take raw milk, you leave it in a room temperature, maybe you add in some raw honey, or you put it into your mouth, and for like a minute, you swish it around your mouth to mix it with your saliva, and you spit it back into the milk, which adds your own saliva or your own bacteria into the milk. And then, or you do nothing and just keep it in room temperature, and in like a week, it turns into kefir. How do you know it's turned to kefir? It's when it actually first, it starts to get somewhat sour, and it has like layer of cream on top of it, and it gets sour and whatever. It's not kefir yet. It can be very sour and unpleasant, and it's not kefir yet. I call it kefir when it separates into whey and curds. So basically, after enough time, the milk will stop being liquid, and one of two things will happen. Either it will turn into a bunch of curds, like pieces of cottage cheese swimming in like whey, this green water. Then it has turned to kefir. Or it just turns into like yogurt-like solid substance, which is not liquid but like a yogurt. At that point, it turned into kefir. Now, I've noticed a weird thing is that when I make kefir with my own spit as I described, then I'm way more likely to have a wet dream than when I have normal kefir. I have no clue why, And yeah, I do semen retention, which makes people with semen retention have way more wet dreams than usual. But yeah, if you do semen retention and you are likely to have wet dreams, then you are probably going to have more wet dreams when you do kefir with your own spit than kefir with no spit. Because I literally told other people in my circle this, and they reported having more wet dreams. It's probably very potent that your own bacteria predigests the milk, especially for your body, with your own enzymes and stuff. And I'm not saying it's beneficial because you get wet dreams, whatever. If you get wet dreams, it means you have higher testosterone, very likely. And yeah, you get more wet dreams when you sun your balls, when you eat organs, when you eat oysters. When you do things which increase your testosterone, you get more wet dreams. So when you do kefir from your spit and you get more wet dreams, then likely you have more testosterone, which again can help you to grow taller. So you drink this kefir, and the point is, if you ferment it, all of the sugar, the lactose, will be fermented away, and you will not have the insulin spike. You will not gain weight from the sugar from the raw milk, because it will be fermented away. And at the same, so you will gain less weight from it. At the same time, the proteins and everything will be more pre-digested, so you will absorb more of the nutrients and minerals for your bones. And at the same time, you will get a lot of bacteria for your intestines, which will improve your microbiome and improve your body's ability to digest nutrients and to utilize them for like height growth or something. It will also increase your testosterone more because again, kefir, even if it's not with a spit, it increases my libido and the vividness of my dreams, oddly enough, more than fresh milk. Then yeah, if you don't have extra weight, like if you are skinny, then I would say you could drink fresh milk more often because you want that insulin. You actually, I think it could be beneficial to grow taller, to get insulin spikes and to have sugar and carbs and all of that. It could be very beneficial to have fresh milk. But at the same time, having kefir, which is more pre-digested and full of kefir, I mean bacteria, that's also beneficial. I would literally do like 50-50. Or what I do is that I get raw milk, I leave it in room temperature, I never refrigerate it, and I drink it fresh when there's sugar. And then when it turns to kefir, I drink it as kefir. Like I have 12 liters at once, and I get like 4 or 6 liters I get when it's still fresh in me in like 2 days. And then it turns to kefir, and then I drink it fermented. So roughly 50-50 I drink kefir or fresh. But if I wanted to lose weight, then maybe sometimes I will get fresh milk to get some carbs, whatever, but I would mostly drink kefir if I didn't want to gain weight. Now, should I eat less fat? You need a bunch of fat in order to produce cholesterol and have higher levels of testosterone, and you need fat for pretty much everything. Like all of toxicity is being absorbed in our modern society, is being absorbed by raw fats, or basically by fats. The more fat you eat, the healthier you will be. Like your brain is made out of fat, the coating of your nervous system, your myelin sheath, which protects you from EMFs and stuff like that, that's made out of fat. Basically, eat fat. Fat is very healthy and nourishing. But just don't eat like 100 grams of raw butter or 100 grams of raw fat every time you eat anything. Like, eat raw fat, eat a lot of it. Drink raw milk with raw cream, drink raw Jersey milk with raw cream, eat raw butter, eat raw egg yolks, eat fatty meat and whatever. Just eat as much fat as you normally do, but don't eat pure animal fat sources. Like, if you have cream, egg yolks, fatty meat or whatever, that's fine. But if you like buy raw lard or some like pure animal fat, like which is like 88 grams of 100 grams of that thing is fat, then you can eat it, but just don't overeat on fat. You can eat fatty food all the time, raw milk, raw eggs, all of that. Eat raw meat, eat raw fat, but just don't overeat it. If you don't go out of your way to deliberately overeat on pure fat to get to satiation, then you don't eat too much fat. Like, I will go and I will eat meat, and like I will eat like 300 grams of meat, and with that I will eat like 200 grams of raw lard, which is like pure fat. That's too much fat. However, if I was to eat like 300 grams of meat with several egg yolks and maybe a little bit of raw butter, then that's fine. That's different. You understand what I'm trying to say. Eat as much as fat as you want, just don't completely overeat on it. Also, you want fat because you create cholesterol out of fat and you create all hormones, including testosterone, which makes you grow taller and develop better scalp from cholesterol. You need a lot of cholesterol. Ideally, if you can, consume brain because it has fuck ton of cholesterol. Brain has. I remember this guy, Dexter Krieger, or how was he called, from Australia, talking about. He was like 115 years old, and he says the reason he were this old is because he ate chicken brains daily. And yeah, brains have a lot of cholesterol. It's the best organ. It's healthy. If you don't have good source, if you have like butchery or something, don't eat brains because it's toxic and you are likely going to have diarrhea because all the injections and medications the animal got, it goes into the brain and the organs and the fat and whatever. But if you consume brain from a healthy animal from a farm, that's the best thing you can eat. Next to like oysters or something. Now, next. Yeah, cheese with honey. You want to make raw unsalted cheese. Basically, you take kefir, you put it into a metal strainer, although you put some cloth from cotton over the metal so the cheese doesn't touch the metal. And under it you have like some bucket or something which collects the whey, ideally not plastic, because then you can drink the whey afterwards. It's like water, you can drink it instead of water. And then when it dries, you have like these curds from the fermented milk, it dries into cottage cheese. Cottage cheese have like such a long rabbit hole. Like when you eat raw cottage cheese with nothing, then you don't digest it, but your body uses it in order to detox heavy metals from your stomach and your intestines because it coats it like a sponge. So that's why when you have nausea and you want to vomit and you have raw unsalted cheese created from raw milk, basically raw ageless Wonderplant style, and you have nausea and you want to vomit and you have this kind of cheese, then it absorbs toxicity in your stomach and your intestines, and you will literally lose your nausea. When I have nausea and I have raw unsalted cheese, I will lose that nausea in like 1 minute because the cheese will absorb the toxicity instead of being digested like normal food. However, if you eat it with raw honey, then your body doesn't use it as a sponge, but instead it will digest the cheese and that will give you a lot of minerals. Like I've heard Agenus say that he could reverse osteoporosis in people by making them eat raw cheese with honey. So if you make raw cheese with raw unsalted cheese from raw milk, and then you eat it with honey, then you will have fuck ton of minerals. Like some cheese with honey, according to Agenus, has as much minerals as fucking gallon of raw milk. So it's a lot of minerals for your bones, and you will probably benefit in height. Though you will gain a lot of weight. Like if you eat it in small amounts, like sometime after your meat meal, you eat some cheese with honey like a supplement, you will not gain weight. But if you eat like a pound of cheese with honey a day, which is a lot, which is hard to make that much, you will need a lot of milk to do that, then you can gain some weight. But I wouldn't worry about it, honestly. In small amounts, you will absolutely not gain weight in significant manner, like body fat from this cheese and honey. But yeah, cheese and honey, that can give you a lot of minerals. Now, another thing is sunlight. There are studies showing that guys, like boys, who have like some issue with growing taller, grow taller during the long summer days. Like people grow taller in summer, in puberty. There are fucking studies showing that. And yeah, just sunlight is king, sunlight will heal you. UV light is good, infrared light is good, whatever. If you look at my Instagram, which is the third link in the description, and look at the second pinned post. I believe it's like in the middle of my pinned post. Oh no, sorry, it's in English, it's in my story highlight called Science. And there is a study, there is a pinned post with scientific studies about sunlight, showing that sunlight increases our testosterone or libido, that sunlight doesn't cause skin C-word, skin cancer, whatever. I don't think the word is censored that much. It doesn't. There are scientific studies proving that. So, sunlight is king. You want to get as much sunlight as you want, and you want to pretend that you are a plant which is only growing when it's in the sunlight. Be like a plant. Get into sunlight. Get a fuck ton of sunlight. Now, avoid blue light. I made a video about blue light. It fucks you up hormonally. There are studies showing, again, if you look at the same post which I mentioned, there are links for studies showing that blue light, artificial blue light, literally causes early puberty and makes rats who are exposed to it in puberty develop smaller testicles, smaller penile size, worse sperm quality and less fertility, and likely then have less testosterone. Blue light is Sunlight is good and it raises your testosterone and gives you good hormones, good health, everything. Blue light is literally like negative sunlight. You want to block blue light. I made a video about blue light. I don't know if it's posted it or not, but basically you want to get blue blocking glasses which block 100% of blue light, or it has to say something like that on the internet page on which you are buying it. And you don't need to block green light because that makes it hard to see in these glasses, and green light isn't as bad. And you basically want to wear blue blocking glasses. If you don't wear blue blocking glasses, then you have this weird light which fucks you up hormonally, which is like negative sunlight. And at the same time, you are fucking up your sleep. And most of testosterone and hormones which make you develop well and grow taller release in your sleep. If you fuck up your sleep because you stare into blue light at night, your body thinks it's day, then it doesn't release all the hormones it's supposed to during sleep, and you will have inferior physical development. Wear blue blocking glasses at night and block blue light, so your body doesn't think it's day, you sleep better, and you release proper hormones at night better, which will help you undoubtedly to grow taller. Another thing, then, you have to avoid things which decrease your testosterone. You want to eat well. Want to have I didn't even talk about nutrition because everyone here knows about raw meat, knows about potatoes cats, knows about Western egg rice. We all know that is important. If you think that it's not important because it's about other things, then watch my Jack Cruz video, or I have tuna maybe. Basically, watch my video where I get reasoning for why that is important. Western egg rice, potatoes cats, we all know that raw meat, raw stuff will make us grow taller, so I talk about some other things. But besides eating good food and seeking things which will increase your testosterone to grow taller and develop well, you have to avoid things which lower your testosterone. And for the things which I will talk about, I have scientific studies, again, in my science story highlight on my Instagram, third link in the description. But I will just briefly go over things which you should watch out for, which decrease your testosterone. First, put your phone into airplane mode when you put it into your pocket, because your phone measurably emits EMF radiation, and there are studies showing that putting your phone in your pocket decreases your sperm count, decreases your testosterone, damages your testes, and damages DNA of your sperm. And at the same time, your phone emits EMFs. If you measure the EMFs at your phone with some EMF meter and you put your phone into airplane mode, it will literally emit less EMFs, like way less, like 1% of it, like almost nothing. So each time you put it in airplane mode, it's basically harmless compared to when it's not in airplane mode. So when you put your phone in airplane mode, put it into your pocket, put it into your airplane mode first, so you don't microwave your balls, so you don't decrease your testosterone with it. Next thing, receipts. Don't touch receipts or tickets in a train, because they fill you with estrogen, basically female hormones, and microplastics. Just don't touch receipts. Touch them like this through a sleeve, or like this through your shirt, or through your wallet, or through your glove, or something like that. Don't touch receipts. If you ride the trains and the inspector is going to look at you weirdly that you wouldn't want to touch the receipt, say, "Excuse me, but I get eczema from touching thermal paper, or eczema from touching the receipt or whatever, so I have to give it to you through a sleeve or something." They all understand it. They say, oh, okay, fair enough. They don't care. Just do that. Don't touch receipts. Another thing. Beer. I wouldn't drink alcohol because it fucks up your sperm quality, kills your sperm and whatever. There's this guy who has like 500 children because he's like a sperm donor. He had a Netflix documentary about him. He's like Jonathan Jacob Mayer, and he eats raw meat. And he talked about his sperm quality, which he used to check very often, completely dropped when he started to drink just some alcohol. So alcohol in general fucks up your sperm, and if something fucks up your sperm, it probably fucks up your testosterone as well. Then again, the effect of being drunk is just you being poisoned and your brain shutting itself off so it isn't affected by the poison. You are turning your brain off because it doesn't want to get poisoned. That's so fun, bro. Chew raw cannabis instead or something, or do psychedelics. Don't do alcohol. But beer specifically is worse because beer contains hops, and hops is estrogenic. It's like soy. It's worse than soy. Female workers who work with hops have menstrual issues because of all the estrogen, just because they breathe it in. And when you are a male who drinks it, then game over, bro. It's so over. It never even began. It's so over. Brutal. Don't drink beer. If you drink alcohol, then drink something else. Drink meat or wine, not beer. It's also, yeah, I've heard from Bronze Age pervert that originally beer, which was called like ale, had no hops in it, and it made people like drunk, but at the same time it made them stimulated, like drugged up, like caffeine or something. But then Puritans in America made it that beer contained the hops instead to make people docile and sluggish and have lower testosterone and stuff like that. So yeah, if beer, which every European is fucking drinking, didn't contain hops, then we would probably have the balls to overthrow our fucking dictatorships. But because we are being poisoned and made into girls who are fat and have big fucking tits like gynecomastia, because we are estrogenized with hops, which is like soy, then yeah, don't drink beer for the love of God. Another thing, pools. Don't go into swimming pools because they contain chlorine, and there are studies showing that people who, in their childhood, like males who get a lot of swim in chlorinated swimming pools, they have lower testosterone and lower sperm quality and sperm count later in life. So yeah, it will permanently make you less of a man if as a child you often use swimming pools. So don't go to chlorinated swimming pools because you're being poisoned by the chlorine, and being made less of a man. Then another thing, yeah, don't drink from plastic. That's obvious. If you drink something from plastic in 2025, then it's over. I'm sorry. Then again, perfumes, similar. Perfumes are full of endocrine disruptors and bullshit which you don't want to get exposed to because it will lower your testosterone. Now, the other guy, exercise. Should you exercise if you want to grow taller? Well, if you do like these bar hangs, when you hang out of a whatever, then I think it can make you somewhat taller. Like if you hang on a bar and everything else like your diet is on point, then I believe you can grow taller because you just feel like you're getting stretched, your spine is getting stretched. I believe you could grow taller from it, but I've never had the discipline to ever do it. I did it sometimes, but you can grow taller without it. I don't know, you can do it if you have a pull-up bar inside your home, then I will do a dead hang every single day. If not, then I will probably bother. I don't know, it probably does something. I don't know how significant it is, you can do it or not, whatever. But now, exercise in itself. There is this thing called the Wolff's Law, that when you put your bones under pressure somehow, then they will grow bigger or thicker to adjust to the stress that you put it under. Now, in theory, you could say, oh, yeah, but that makes your bone denser and thicker, but not like bigger. It will not make you grow taller to do sports or something. But there's a video of this one arm wrestler who only trains one hand, and his one hand which he trains for arm wrestling, like it's bigger for several centimeters than the untrained hand. It literally made his hand bigger to train it, to put it to stress, even after long after puberty. So yeah, some stress applied to your bones will apply some stimulus to force them to grow a bit taller, which we could see with this guy. Now, what is the best way to force this stimulus? Well, thing I've seen, which I never did, but I think it sounds fucking legit, is that you know about jumping, like Maasai jumping, or fucking jumping, falling, whatever. It applies stress to your shins, which makes you in theory grow taller. Well, if you have like ankle weights, like weights on your shins, or hold something heavy, and you jump down, and you fall on the ground with extra weight, preferably on your ankles, and you have to your bones have to absorb the impact, then it's likely that you will grow taller because of it. I fully believe it. Yeah, sure. If you want to grow taller and are fanatic about it, then if you're like 5 something and you want to save your bloodline, then get ankle weights and jump from some safe height, please, and fall down and make your shins absorb the impact with some extra weight, preferably. Now, you don't need to only do jumps or stuff like that. If you do lifting, I believe that you can do, if you do lifting like heavy weights or some shit like that, you probably put your skeleton under some kind of stress which probably makes it grow taller or bigger. It's just a vague. I vaguely think it's the case. Maybe it's not. I wouldn't take my word for it, but I just think that you can lift and make it not fuck up your height growth. I don't think it's necessary for growing taller, but I don't think it's going to prevent you from growing taller. Now, if you overtrain, if you train too much, then that's a problem. Then of course, if you train too much, then your body will not even have enough resources to repair itself from the workouts. Then it will not put resources into growing taller. Yeah, but if you work out like 2 times a week, and you don't do millions, like if you're a gym rat who works out all the time, and does fuck ton of sets, then yeah, that will make you probably grow shorter. But if you do fucking 3 workouts a week, and you do few sets per muscle, then you recover just fine. You have more rest days than you have training days, and you recover just fine. You have excess nutrients to repair yourself and whatever. Then it will absolutely not stunt your growth. It will be completely fine. And maybe because you put some stress on your skeleton, it will even make you grow taller somehow if you are not overtraining. Now, running. Running is the complete opposite. Maybe sprinting could be fine. A lot of sprinters are tall. But never do jogging, never do football, and likely I would say don't do rugby, because I don't have any study for it. But from experience, is everyone who played football in puberty is fucking short. And I've heard people who literally went to sports school, so like you have classes for like certain sports and whatever, and they told me that everyone going to the football, like soccer school, was shorter than other people. Like excessive running will probably make you, it's catabolic, it will make you burn muscle and everything, it will make you burn fat for your life. It's catabolic. And from experience of myself and many people who play soccer and football, basically, they are shorter than the people who don't. So avoid football and stuff like that. I would say even rugby is more manly because you have a lot of violence, but I would avoid rugby because you do too much running. I would wait until I develop until I'm too tall, and then I would go and play rugby, but not during the development, honestly. I will talk about what I will do if I was a rugby player instead, in a while. But another thing, swimming. Double-edged sword. First, you don't want to swim because the chlorinated pools decrease your testosterone and completely fuck you up. Fuck that, don't do it. But if you can swim in natural bodies of water, then do it. It's the best thing you can do, because all Olympic swimmers, including the females, have very wide shoulders. And not like muscles, but like the frame of their skeletons. Because swimming will literally make your shoulders, like your bones, wider. Swimming will make your bones develop to be like better. Because you're like constantly stretching like your skeleton or something. And likely it can make you develop to be taller as well, because you're pushing your spine away from your whatever when you are swimming. Swimming is great. It will develop. I've also heard people with scoliosis, like a curvy spine or something. I remember the joke, like, I've heard you like curvy woman. Well, I have scoliosis. Yeah. I heard people have scoliosis who do swimming, and it fixes their fucking scoliosis to some extent. It straightens up their spine. So yeah, it can make you grow taller. Likely, it will make you develop wider shoulders. But with the chlorine, it's not worth it. Honestly, you can develop better skeleton even if you do swimming in chlorine, but you will have better skeleton, but you will have worse genes and worse fertility. So I don't think it's worth the trade-off. But yeah, if you have sea or something, I will literally swim a lot in that natural body of water. Now, cold showers. I did a video on cold exposure. It's a very long topic, very fucking long topic. You can watch it or not, whatever. But in context of growing taller, if you do it once a week for whatever reason, it's not a big deal. If you do it constantly too much, then I believe it can make you eat up too much nutrients. It will be basically similar to overtraining. It's like training. Doing some cold exposure, some training, that's fine for height growth. Doing it too much is like doing overtraining, and you are robbing yourself of nutrients to grow taller. You're just don't overdo it. But there's the interesting thing that animals in colder climates are usually, as long as it's not, animals in colder climates are not taller, but bigger and denser than animals in warm climates. And people in Sweden and like Scandinavia, Vikings basically from cold countries, are always taller than like people in the Mediterranean. Like yeah, it's very likely because of the diet. Of course, because if you live in cold environment, you will eat better food. But still, Mediterraneans, they eat more agriculturally based, but still they eat a bunch of seafood and stuff like that. And lot of, like if you've been to Spain, in Spain they eat so much fucking meat all the time. Like instead of going to snack on the fast food, they go and snack on like dried meat sandwich or something. They eat a bunch of meat, a lot of meat. And they get ton of sunlight as well, and they eat bunch of seafood. Their diet is very good. At the same time, people in very warm climates are usually shorter, unless they are black. White people in warm climates are shorter than people in cold climates. I'm not telling you to go and torture yourself with cold or something. I'm just saying, vaguely, somehow, intuitively, if you are going to be kind of person who is able to go outside in the winter and not feel cold, and have the cold wind caress your face, and be a Viking who is okay with taking your jacket off in the winter sometimes to cool down, and getting your bare feet in the snow sometimes, like doing some cold exposure, it will make you more of a man somehow. Not torturing yourself with cold water, but being able to do some human natural level of cold exposure and feeling unfazed with it will make you more of a man and less of a pussy somehow, and you will probably intuitively grow taller, or be more badass and be more manly in the face of the gods, who will then allow you to grow taller than if you are someone who is constantly seeking heat, like, oh no, cold is bad, I need to be warm all the time, and no, cold. Just don't be a pussy who is afraid of cold, and sometimes be able to take some cold, like some Viking or some shit. That's all you need to know about cold exposure, honestly, for height growth. I vaguely think if you tolerate some cold and be able to embrace some of the elements, you will grow taller and to be more of a man than if you shy and hide and run away from any and all cold. But at the same time, I wouldn't advise to torture yourself with cold showers daily and stuff like that, which people like Jack Cruz will tell you to do. Have a balance. Be in the middle. Be in the middle, basically. Don't shy away from it, and don't constantly seek it. Be in the middle. Now, I would argue that for growing taller, or developing skeleton to be more of a man in puberty, doing some training is always better than doing no training. In theory, you use up resources which you could use to grow taller in order to recover from training. In theory, yes. But honestly, look at it. If you do some training, like you do some wrestling or martial arts, and you have to submit someone else to your will. Like you are in competition with someone, and you have to use your body. You have to use your body in order to submit someone else to your will. You have to use your body to hurt other people. You have to use your body and force it to be more powerful than other people. If you do like fucking American football or something, then you have to use your body in order to ram into people and hurt them and basically submit other people to your will. You have to manhandle people around you. If you do any kind of sport, then your body during puberty will develop as a body of a man who your body is going to get adapted to hurting other people. Your body is going to get adapted to submitting other people to your will. Your body is going to become adapted to force people to to your will. If your body adapts to be strong, if your body adapts to basically forcing other people and resisting other people, your body will just develop to be stronger. Like, who do you think will develop to be taller? Someone who has absolutely no stress and is sedentary, or someone who has to fight other people and submit them to his will, who has to hurt other people. Like, body of this guy has to develop to be strong enough to be better at submitting other people. Body of this guy thinks it's safe all of the time and that it lives in paradise and that it never has to fight for its life. So it doesn't need to adapt to any such stress. Someone who is adapted, whose body is trying to adapt to the stress of lifting a heavy weight or hurting other people or being faster than someone else or something along those lines, body of such a person will develop to be stronger, more intimidating, more manly, more sexually attractive and whatever, than body of someone who is constantly sedentary, who does nothing but stare into a screen and makes reaction videos. Now, in nature, it would make sense that in nature you probably won't see people training or exercising or doing stuff like that because they will be hunting. But yeah, if you are hunting and sprinting and doing shit like that, then yeah, then you don't need training. But in modern society, it might be actually beneficial to imitate hunting in some slave way because it will still make you develop to be more of a man. Now, anything else I could say? Specifically to this point, I wanted to say something, but I forgot. I have no science to back what I just set up, but it makes sense intuitively. Like, if you had twins for sons, and one of them was sedentary, and one of them was training wrestling 3 times a week for 1 hour a day at most, you will vaguely think that the guy who trains wrestling is going to be more of a man, is going to be more attractive, is going to be taller and stronger, and probably have more sexual appeal than the guy who's sedentary. And first, this vague thing, intuition, which tells you this thing. And second, as I told you, Wolff's law. Arm wrestle trains only as one hand and it grows taller, longer than the untrained hand. So there could be some science to be argued for this. As long as you don't overtrain and you have enough resources to recover from the training, then it's enough. Now, what sport would I recommend? What is the perfect sport? American football. I'm European, I'm not American, and yet I think American football is awesome. I did it for a while. I will tell you why it's awesome. It's how it works. You get into position, the coach says, go, or no, he says ready, set, hot. And then guy throws a ball to someone, then he throws it to someone else, people run around, then the guy with the ball gets tackled, and then the game ends. And then you again get into position, and then again you sprint again. Basically, you sprint for like 7 seconds, and then you have a like half a minute pause, or a minute pause. And then again you sprint for 7 seconds or something, or 10 seconds. And then sometimes you catch the ball and you sprint for 12 seconds instead. And then you have a half a minute pause. And then you switch teams, like you go into defense rather than offense. And then you have half an hour pause. No, sorry, that's too much. Like 5 minutes pause before you go again on the field. You have so much rest that it's not stressful at all. All you do is sprint. You sprint for a while and you use your brain in order, like, where do I run? What do I do? You use your reflexes and stuff like that. But you don't use your endurance. You only sprint and you rest all the time, so you are never out of breath. So the issue with people who run a lot, like playing soccer, being shorter, not the case with football, because you rest enough. It's barely stressful. And what you do actually, while you sprint, is that you ram into someone. You try to hurt the guy who has the ball. You run away, or you ram into other people. You have to violently ram into other people, and that's a very fun thing to do. If you are a young male, then ramming into other young males with a ball aggressively, it's so fun. It's more fun than martial arts, because that's very hard for you. You lose your breath and you're getting punched in the face. It's frustrating because you don't know the technique is better. Here, you just go and you sprint and you ram into someone, and it's fucking fun. I love it. I love ramming into people. It's so fun. And yeah, it's explosive movements which like put pressure on your bones or something. So you are likely going to stimulate the Wolff's Law, which can make you grow somewhat taller. I don't know. It's just I think that American football players on average are taller than non-players. But of course that can be because taller people are more prone to playing American football. However, it's also the best sport because any body type you have, you can be used in that sport. There are some players, like some people who run with the ball from the back or whatever. Some players are good when they are short and small and light. And some positions, like defense of the quarterback, that's way better if you are fat and don't want to run and you just stand and you try to push other people. If you are lanky, if you are fat, if you are tall, if you are short, there are there are positions which are good for your body type in the sport. Like any type of body type you have, you can play American football. However, don't use your head as a ramming tool, because if you use your head as a ramming tool, then you will damage your brain, which is similar to boxing, which you don't want to do, which is not worth playing the sport. I don't know, it's in America, but in Europe, we have techniques. We like, when we want to get someone to the ground, we use your hands, we use like techniques, we use stuff basically. So we don't use our heads in order to ram into someone. If the league of American football in which you are playing is uneducated, and you just ram into everyone with your head, then you're getting brain damage. Then please don't play American football. But if you use techniques and stuff instead, then yeah. Or if you are in a position when you don't get hit in your head, then yeah, that's fun. If you can be quarterback, if you are quarterback, then you are the complete primal mastermind, because quarterback, he almost never even runs. If you are a quarterback, you don't run. You only take the ball, you plan the perfect play, like the way in which your teammates are going to run. You make the strategy for the play, and then you throw a ball. You are like a hunter throwing. You are throwing. You are not even exerting yourself. You use your brain and then you throw. Zero exertion, basically. That's probably GOAT's approved. If you are quarterback, then you are complete G. Yeah. That's pretty much about it. So if you feel like I provide enough value and that my free stuff has helped you enough, then you can check out my paid stuff. I have a school community. It's the second link in the description. Currently it's like $3 a month or something. It's dirt cheap. And if you find this kind of content valuable, then you will definitely find it valuable or at least interesting to take a look at that. So yeah, see you later. Eat raw meat, wear blue blockers, and grow your hair out.